Do I start now? Just start? Okay. Hello everyone. My name's Jaelyn Neely, and I'm 20 years old. My birthday was June 10th, 1996. And I'll tell you just a little about myself because it's the icebreaker. Okay, so I'll start with the first day I was born, June 10th, 1996. It was a Monday, about 12 o'clock. My grandfather walks in to this, what my great-grandmother called a little chocolate drop. He walks in and he's like, that baby's ugly. And so from the first day I was born, I was judged. Yes, being judgmental from family members to friends. Everyone judges everyone from some type of way. So some things about me is that I technically lived in 3 households, not just one. Usually people would just have their parents that teach them and they live in one house or one group of family their whole entire life. I had 3 households. So I lived with my mother, my grandparents, and then I lived with my great-grandma and her daughter, which is my aunt. So I call my mom's house just my regular normal house. She basically taught me everything through life, but when she had to work, I had to stay at either my great-grandma's house or my grandparents' house. So I called my grandparents' house the work home because when I was over there, they're very well educated. Actually, my grandmother, I called her Einsteinetta because she's super smart. She has dictionaries everywhere, books everywhere. If you ask her one thing, she'll just go into a whole tangent about that one small thing that you asked her. You'll ask her, oh, what color is this? I think it's bluish green. I personally call it aqua, but she said it's turquoise, green, this color derived from blah, 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 blah. And after that, you're just confused on everything that she's saying. um, so, as a child, I taught my grandmother how to share. So, she will always have candy, a big bag of candy in her closet. And so, of course, as a little kid, I would love to get a chocolate high and be hyper and spin around the room, spin around the house, and get dizzy and then sick and fall down everywhere. So I would eat all the candy in her thing, and then she would, in her bag. So she would always just give me a piece and give herself a piece. But when there wasn't enough, I had to teach her how to share. So I was like, grandmother, this is how you share. You just get the candy and you cut it in half. You give a piece to you, and I'll get a piece for me. And that's how you share. Because she was very selfish when I was younger. So over the time, she learned how to basically be nicer to people as raising me and teach me along the way of how to be intellectual and a deep thinker as a younger child. With that being said, my grandfather also picked at her and her vocabulary because it wasn't colorful as in bad, but it was colorful as in she knew every single word that is in the dictionary or in the world itself and where it derives from. So with that, at my grandparents' house, it was very structured. So during the day, it's kind of like the Citadel schedule. Around 8 to 10 o'clock, you had to eat breakfast. Before 11 o'clock, your bed had to be made. If it wasn't made, then someone was going to say something. My grandfather would either walk through the house, look into the room, and be like, why isn't your bed made yet? Something like that. But it would be more of a sarcastic, either curse word in that phrase already, with a little racist phrase in there as well, because he usually says stuff like that. So by 11 o'clock, the bed was made. 12 o'clock was lunchtime, so everyone kind of ate lunch together. In the middle of the day, you could have your free time, and then 6 o'clock was dinner. So every time we ate dinner, the news will come on. We have to watch the news while we eat dinner because my grandmother, she was very into anything knowledgeable and learning how to learning world things. I'm sorry, I'm nervous. um, Yes, so 6 o'clock was dinner time, and after that, it was a freelance, do what you want to do after dinner. Everyone had to clean the dishes, put it up, and clean everything around the house after dinner time, and then go and do your studies. So from middle school to the end of high school, I was partially living at my mom's house when she was on break or when she was free. Then when she was working, I had to live at my grandparents' house. So when I go home, it was kind of an awkward situation because my mom was trying to figure out what my grandfather told me and to pick out the good things that was right for me at the time because she knew how she wanted to raise me. And so during the summer when school was out, I had to go somewhere to stay. So I stayed at my great grandmother and my aunt's house. So at their house, I called it my vacation home because they didn't care about anything that much, and they just let me do what I wanted to do. I could eat all the candy I want, all the snacks I want. I ate a whole box of Famous Amos cookies in one night. They will always give me the Star Crunch, the Pepperidge Farm cookies, the Chessmans, the Bordeaux cookies, every single type of sweets there is. Yes, I love sweets to death, so that's the vein of my life right now, so I have to stop eating sweets. So my aunt, she will always say, because my grandparents and my mom was very strict about anything I wore. I couldn't wear shorts. I always had to wear the Bermuda plaid shorts. I know every girl has worn those before with the collared shirt. It was a very structured kind of dress code with my mom and my grandparents. I couldn't have like a certain kind of shirt, the spaghetti strap, the spaghetti strap shirts. I couldn't really wear that much. And everything was very structured. But when I was at my aunt's house, I had to wear certain things. But that's the story of my life and my 3 homes that I've lived in my whole entire life, and that's it.